Hi, everybody. This is Amandeep. And if you have seen, my intention about today's session is how do I get more time? I mean, we can't have more than 24 hours. Obviously, you understand. You have to be creative. You have to be smart. You have to see a way to replicate yourself in as many ways possible. Okay. Which means that if you want to, multiply your hours beyond 24 hours, you will have to do something called a strategy. Okay, by the way, let me give you a bit of background. Okay, I teach this to my students, that we have two ways, of making money to make a living. Okay, most people, they are in strategy number one. The strategy number one is when you do one-to-one. Let's say, if you are on a job, if you're self-employed on your own, if you are a professional like a lawyer or a doctor or a chartered accountant, and if it's only you in that profession dealing with clients and clocking the hours, even if you charge, let's say, very specialized services, maybe a little bit of like premium amount, but still you cannot multiply beyond a certain limit. Okay, let's say I'm just giving it a figure. Okay, let's say you make £1,000 in a per session, which is a good amount to earn, let's say, for a lot of people. But if you do intense work, with a lot of clients, and if you charge £1,000, you understand there's a lot of work to be done behind the scenes. It's just not 1 hour you give the client. There is many hours of work behind the scenes. Okay, so in a day you can't do more than 2 or 3 clients at the topmost. And even if you're doing 3 clients, it still caps you up to £3,000, and you cannot work, let's say, more than 6 days. That still, has got a cap of whatever 50, 60, 80,000 pounds, which you can make, or 100,000 pounds in a year. But if you want to scale it up, you want to go to millions, then that's where you have to understand the strategy number 2. And the strategy number 2, is one-to-many arrangement. When you go one-to-many arrangement, you can replicate your hours, you can replicate your services to many different clients, and that's where public speaking comes in handy. Well, there's another way you can do it. It's not so effective as public speaking. You can outsource the things which you are not good at, and you can only focus on the things that you are good at. If you do that, you still would need somebody, right? It's still not one-to-one arrangement, which means it could be not too many arrangements, but you have still a one team member, one like a PA, one admin person looking after all the extra odd jobs for you, while you focus on your main, kind of stream of strength. Coming back, but when you can go one-to-many arrangement, you can speak to, a group of people at one given point of time, like I'm doing right now. I'm speaking to probably, 15, 20 people at the same time. What happens, you're able to leverage your time. And speaking in public, in my understanding, coming from a one-room house in Calcutta, not able to speak English properly. Yeah, I mean, in my family, nobody speaks English, by the way. My parents are illiterate; they can't read and write, and they somehow, got me to an English medium school when I was 9 years old. I was relocated from a Hindi medium, like a local language speaking school, to an English medium, like an average English medium school in Calcutta. And, on that journey, somehow, I picked up the language, and I just got better and better. I kept practicing, going deeper with it. And when I came to the UK for almost 14 years back, I was exposed to more of English, and it just became better and better. So coming back, from that space to where I am today, where I speak in front of, Western audiences across the globe. I've spoken in more than 20 plus countries. I've done, speaking in more than 3 continents. I've done more than 500 plus workshops. I realized, in my whole journey that speaking in public, was a big thing I have built in my mind over the last, let's say, over 30 years of my life. And it was after 30 years, when I started learning this skill, because I really wanted to help people, because I realized, this is one of my inbuilt passion to support others to become a better version for themselves. I have been doing it since childhood, but I didn't realize it at a level until I did UPW, with Tony Robbins in 2007. Yeah, almost 13 years back, I had a huge aha moment, and I said, what? Oh wow, I am designed to become a teacher. This is what I love doing. I don't keep track of time when I teach. I become one with time, and it brings a huge smile, on my face and my beingness when I'm teaching people. So this is what I would like to do, full time, is to teach people and help them become a better version for themselves. Well, I made the decision in 2007 in June in Excel Center in London. It took me a good number of years. When I first did my public event in 2009 December, in Chandigarh, in India. Obviously lost a lot of money. Was a new passionate speaker. I did not know how to market myself, did not know how to do the best way of running an event, but eventually learned my lessons. And I was almost bankrupt, almost broke. in 2 years by living my passion, not making any money. Then joined Success Resources as obviously a client at the beginning, learning from them. Then as a volunteer for a year, more than a year, then joined their offices, learned how the business is done from behind the scenes, became part of many different events, got an opportunity to speak for them in 2012, kept speaking, kept learning, kept getting better. And after doing all these number of years of, events and public speaking, I realized that speaking in public is no rocket science. That's correct. You just have to be yourself, which is the hardest thing to do. And once you know how to do it, is the easiest thing to do. Yeah, that's why, I could be in my home right now and just come live and speak to you guys. I haven't got a script. I've got a few thoughts in my mind when I started the live session. And I said, you know what? I will just speak from my experience. And when you speak from experience, you don't need a script, by the way, my friend. What I want to share with you guys, that speaking in public, or if you know how to conduct yourself in front of a group, and at the same time, it's just not, you giving, and not getting something back in return. You give, and then you get return in terms of, people go and decide to, invest in you. That's the kind of public speaking I'm talking about. You also need to learn how to monetize your experiences and knowledge when you're giving to people. So I highly recommend you learn from the right mentor, who have a track record of not just teaching you public speaking, but they are also able to close as they have done it for themselves, and they now can transfer it to you. And by the way, again, I've already said this, maybe public speaking doesn't require any talent. It's a skill, because we all speak. And if you know how to speak in front of an audience, in front of a group, in front of, a couple of people, you will always be able to, leverage your income, your fame, popularity, whatever that, you are after. You can multiply that if you know how to speak in public. That will give you leverage, that will give you extra hours in your life. Because everything I have, to be honest, including this house, which I am sitting in right now, is a product of speaking in public. That's how it all became possible for me. You only would get better, by doing it. Now, having said that, there is a bit of a risk in this move. If you're just doing it on your own without taking any professional help from the experts who actually do it. There are experts who are just book experts. You see them on the papers to be expert, but they hardly do, much public speaking. That's the problem, with public speaking right now. Anybody who has done 1 or 2 or 3 different workshops, have taken a couple of pictures, with other speakers, claims himself to be a public speaking teacher. So yeah, coming back, obviously do deep practice. When you do deep practice, you will only get better. Second, I would say go deeper into your topic. If you only know the surface level of your topic, for most people, the challenge is that they want fame so badly, they learn from somewhere and they go straight into teaching that. That's difficult. That's very challenging. You're not owning that topic, So when you learn and you say, let me apply this. And while you're applying it, you can definitely share. But the more you apply it, it becomes powerful for you to teach it to others. So first apply as much as you can, and then teach from experience. That will, make you a very good professional speaker. And the third thing, what I would like to recommend is that research, and see who you can pick up as a mentor. You really need to have a mentor. If you are your only help, God bless you. If you want to speak in public, you really would like to get some help. I had a couple of mentors, in my life, mentors in my life, and I still have, a few mentors in my life. That will give you leverage. That will give you extra hours in your life.